So the latest coming out of Ewood Park is Craig Conway is gone. Stewart Downing coming in. We'll talk about that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another Blackburn Rovers transfer update. I'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button and get your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, football related. We're going to all here under one roof. So, my boys and girls, let's kick it off with some transfer news, boys and girls. It is starting to bubble over in the Championship now that Aston Villa have got themselves secured over in the Premier League. We now know the 24 teams, and of course everyone can start focusing on bringing in players, getting rid of players, all that kind of good stuff. And Blackburn have confirmed in the past couple of days that Craig Conway is to leave. It actually happened probably 2 days ago or something like that, but I was out actually on a bit of a break down at the beach, so I couldn't really bring you an update. So here it is now. So Craig Conway is gone. His contract will not be renewed. And he's actually expressed some interest to stick around in England. So yeah, it's a good. Obviously, he's still got probably a season or two left. And for me, if he's going to stick around in England, I still think he's got something to offer for a Championship club. Perhaps a team that's going to be struggling towards the foot of the table. No disrespect to these bad boys, but maybe a Millwall or maybe a Reading or QPR, something like that. Obviously, here he is, a picture of him with the captain's armband on his arm, so he does show some experience, some leadership, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a Brucey bonus for any sort of mid-table struggling team that needs some options out wide. For me, it's sad to see players like this go. He's always gave 100%, but we have to be realistic and have to throw sentiment out the window and move forward. Now, obviously, Conway, for me, I also think he's got options further afield, up north, up in Scotland. If he wants to return to the Premier League, I think a lot of teams could do with his attributes. He's definitely very fit. He still can offer a bit of pace. It's not the fastest of obviously. He's getting on in his later years, but still, he still has something to offer. Definitely in the Scottish Premier League and definitely in the third and the second tiers over in England. So it'll be interesting to see what pans out. Obviously, from now on, he is not considered a Blackburn Rovers player, but I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll bring you guys an update too once it's been confirmed his destiny. I believe he will be playing football. I don't think there's any a matter that he will hang up his boots. I think he's got at least 1, maybe 2 seasons left in him, and I do know that he's very comfortable living. He calls Blackburn Rovers his home. So if anything, I think he'll be maybe perhaps moving to a club in a commutable distance from Blackburn, because I think he was very, very happy here. Spent 5.5 years here, over 200 appearances for Rovers, scoring important goals as well. He did contribute this season. Obviously, didn't play as many games as he wanted to, but yeah, very, very good Rovers player, and definitely be sorely missed by a lot of Rovers fans out there, including myself. But I believe it is the right move for Rovers moving forward. We do need to spruce it up a bit, and that includes moving some players who are on the cusps of the squad. So Craig Conway going out, and the latest rumour is this fella coming on in. That's right, ex-Liverpool, ex-England winger. Currently on the books for the time being, or maybe his contract's just been terminated. Stewart Downing over at Middlesbrough. Now this one has baffled me, and it's baffled a few of the older Rovers community over on Twitter, because we've just let in one winger go who is in his mid 30s, and then now with this talk of bringing in another one, a mid 30s winger, who's probably going to be on more wages than Craig Conway into the club. Now this one is a little bit funny. I think obviously he's a more talented player than, no disrespect to Craig Conway, but I think he's a more talented player and does provide more options and all that kind of good stuff. And to be honest with you, I think it is a step up from Craig Conway. But realistically, as from my point of view, is this the direction we need to be going forward? To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't think so. He will offer some experience of being in the international setup, being as a top player back in the day for Aston Villa, for Middlesbrough in his initial spell, and obviously for Liverpool as well. So he's been there, seen that, and done it. He can offer it, but realistically, is this the kind of player that we're going for right now? I'm worried about wages, and I'm worried about this. But this smells like something that is cooking. And if I was to give it a likelihood of happening, I would give it around about the 50% mark. I don't think it's dead in the water, and I don't think it's far-fetched. It's not, obviously, for the initial point of view, I don't think it's ticking the right boxes for the Rovers fans. I think this one, if this was to pull through, this would be a bit of a sour taste, especially letting one experienced winger go to bring in another one. So this one, again, it's fresh out of the oven today, linked with Sky, but also Rangers are looking at him, Sheffield Wednesday as well. Some other Championship clubs are sniffing around. He will be playing, I believe, football next season, and the chances are he's going to be playing in the Championship. And will he be wearing a blue and white shirt for Blackburn Rovers? I don't know. I believe it is a free transfer as well, so there will be no transfer fee involved. Again, it's not confirmed. Again, it is rumours. Again, it is the funny season with Sky and the transfer dealings, so we'll have to wait and see. But for me, I would give this, if I give it, I'm going to get my old transfer meter out of the old traffic light, I'd give this an amber or an orange for all you colourblind folk like me out there. So this one's got a chance to happen, but it also could be dead in the water. And speaking of dead in the water, we got this guy. It is Adam Maher. That's right, a player that we were linked with early in the transfer window, and it's still very early, but to be honest with you, this deal looks dead in the water. Obviously playing his football currently for AZ Alkmaar over in the Dutch league, former Dutch international as well, played back in 2012 maybe. He was once on PSV's books, but rumour has it now that obviously Rovers were sniffing around, a couple of other clubs were sniffing around, but it looks like he's going to join up with his old coach over at Utrecht, and they are in the top division over in Holland. So this likelihood of this one happening is a big fat 0. I think it's dead. It would have been an amazing pickup. It kind of reminds me of a player who's fall from grace a little bit, and it's kind of chipping his way back up. It would have been a good pickup, good age, and definitely would have provided a bit of competition for Bradley Dack in the middle of the park. So with him not going, I would be more resolute to make sure Dack stays until something else pans out within that attacking midfield slot. And let's move on to a current Rover who could be also on his way out. It is this guy, Jack Rodwell. Obviously, Gladwin, Rodwell, and Craig Conway, the 3 players that were dubious, and we're still waiting in the wings to see what happens with this guy. Now, obviously, he was a stop-start player for Rovers last season. Played in the middle of the park, in midfield, also played in defence. To be honest with you, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I think it's still on the fence, and it probably it depends on what else goes on elsewhere. We are looking at some other defensive targets, including Patrick Bauer. I'll talk more about Patrick Bauer in just a second. But I think depending on what happens elsewhere, if we can bring in some other players, we'll decide the future on Jack Rodwell. So if we get the green light from Patrick Bauer, perhaps we'll say goodbye to Jack Rodwell. If Bauer says no, then maybe Jack Rodwell will stick around. But we definitely need to keep bodies. We don't want to be a threadbare squad. So right now, traffic light scale for this guy, I'm also going to give an amber. He could stick around, he could go, and he could stay. So again, unlike Craig Conway, his contract situation is still up in the air, just like Ben Gladwin. So there's no updates on this guy. So we're just biding time, depending on what I think it's all due to either what he wants wage-wise and what else is going on with our other defensive targets. Speaking of defensive targets, let's take a look at one of them, and is this guy, Patrick Bauer. Obviously, I think we were much heavily linked with him this past season. Obviously, he could have arrived August last season, but stuck around with Charlton to see what they could do. His contract was expired and is still in negotiations, and still hasn't made up his full decision on what he's going to do. And obviously, he scored the screaming goal that sent Charlton into the Championship. So we were playing at Ewood Park next season for sure, unless injury or suspension rules him out. But will he be wearing the blue and white halves, or will he be wearing the Charlton Charlton jersey? We just don't know right now. But I think this one's going to be decided within the next less than a week. I think in the next 2 or 3 days we'll find out whether Patrick Bauer will be a Charlton player or will he go elsewhere. I'm not saying it's done and dusted. To be honest with you, I think it's not going to happen, but I'm going to give it the traffic indicator of orange, just because there is a small chance. Obviously, we've been a long time admirer of him, and I think there are other clubs are going to be sniffing around him. It will be an amazing pickup. If we pick them up, I think our chances of doing well in the season will increase quite dramatically. He's a leader. I think he was wearing the captain's armband for Charlton for I don't know if he was long-term captain, but he was definitely El Capitano for a good portion of the season anyway. And again, big lad. He's going down as cult figure now, scoring that goal to send them up and keep Sunderland in the League One obscurity. So if we do pick this up, I'll be very, very impressed with a bit of business. But obviously, nothing has been completed by Rovers just yet. There's still a lot of talk flying around. Anyway, here's a long-term target, just like another long-term target. We have got this guy again, another player we've been linked recently in the press, in the sources. All these transfer names have been mentioned by sources out there. I'm not pulling them out my backside or anything like that. As, you know, if I would, I'd be picking out some real quality gems out my backside. But no, there are links with us and Sam Gallagher, who has actually been made available for transfer by Southampton. Now the thing is, I think this would be an interesting one for Rovers. He's still young, still hungry. It fits the mould for a Mowbray kind of player, like an Armstrong. And again, he's English. Yeah, it adds well. But 5 million is a lot of money. We just spent 7. No, knocking on 7 anyway, for Ben Brereton again, and I think it's two similar kind of players. I think for 5 million and the wages that the Sam Gallagher will be asking, I think this is again, if I give it a traffic light indicator, I think this one's going to be a red, a non-starter for me. I think the wages are too much, the transfer fee is too much, and also linked with he's also been linked with Leeds, some other Championship clubs as well. So I do believe he'll be on the move. Probably, you know, the likelihood it will be a transfer, but again, there'll be a loan option could keep us in conversation. But to be honest with you, I don't think this will happen. I think it's too big a money. And to be honest with you, I think it's a bit of a backward step. We have too many similar players like him. We need something different. And speaking of something different, we have this fella. It is a youngster out of Everton. His name is Bassala Sambou. He is 21 years of age. He's been playing for Everton reserves. Again, it smells like a Mowbray transfer for sure. He's done the likes with Dominic Samuel. He's done the likes with Adam Armstrong, picking youngsters that are not getting the first team football that they deserve. And this one smells like something that will happen. I'm actually going to give it the traffic light colour of green. That is go to bring him in. Will he come in straight into the lineup? I don't know. I think if he does come in, I think the likes of Joe Nuttall will be on his way out, whether it's on a loan or maybe on a permanent deal or not. So this one's got a bit of legs, I think. Again, it's been linked down there, just if you want to check it out yourself, put in on the old Google Bassala Sambou and you can read up on it yourself. But to be honest with you, if out of the transfers that have been mentioned today in this video, I believe this one has got the legs to last and actually turn out to be something credible. As for the rest, we're going to be waiting in the wings for the Bauers and the Stewart Downings of this world, but I also can pretty much rule out Adam Maher unless something crazy happens. Anyway, that is your brief transfer update for you folks. Obviously, there are still rumblings going on with the goalkeeping situation. Frank Fielding's contract is out. Again, we've been linked with him. Wes Fotheringham as well. Also, the future of David Raya has not been completely put to bed, even though there has been some more positive vibes about Raya sticking around. But to be honest with you, the three goalkeeping situation is balmy, with the Mountie sticking around, David Raya, and also the links of us with other goalkeepers as well. Those having 3 of keepers of that age, of that ilk on the books doesn't sit right with me. So something still needs to be settled in that regard, and hopefully I'll bring you another update in about a week or so, as and when the transfers bubble up, and maybe if there's other news that breaks and we do pick up a big signing, I will let you know. But until then, that's all I've got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. If you do, smash the subscribe. I try and bring you transfer updates as and when I get them. But if at all possible, it's just going to be a weekly update. And I'll try and combine all the rumours with you. But that's what I've got this week for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Would you like to see any of those deals come through? Would you like to see Patrick Bauer? What about Sam Gallagher? What about Stewart Downing? Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Let me know in your comment section down below. For me, I'd love to see Patrick Bauer big time, but I'm not too sure it's going to happen. And for Sam Gallagher, I think that's a no-go. I think that's financially does not make sense for us, and positionally as well. But anyway, folks, that's all I've got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. And if you do, smash the subscribe. I try and provide you with Blackburn Rovers updates as and when I get them. Until I see you again, which will be very, very soon. Ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.